Hi everyone, I'm Celine and I've just celebrated 12 years living in Paris. It's been an adventure. First, I started out as an expat and now as a French dual American citizen, a business owner, and now a new mom. In this new series, I wanted to share my top 5 brutally honest advice on what it's like to really live in Paris. Raw, unfiltered, and not just sitting in cafe terraces sipping wine. If you're enjoying this video, let me know in the comments by sharing your own Paris experiences. Don't forget to subscribe for more behind the scenes looks at what expat life looks like in Paris. My first brutally honest advice is don't move to France for the Instagram lifestyle because that isn't real. Social media and shows like Emily in Paris have really warped the idea of what it means to move to France and actually live here. It tends to be a bit fake, or at least not share the entire truth. One example I can think of actually is the TikToks and the Instagram videos of all of those influencers in front of the Eiffel Tower on Rue de l'Université, all of these other influencers right next to them recording the exact same content. This kind of content is geared towards tourists and it doesn't really share the whole locals' perspective. Yes, Paris is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous city. But that being said, it's no cakewalk either. It can be a really tough city to live in. There is traffic, overcrowding in the metro, there are loud neighborhoods, there's even homelessness and even litter sometimes on the streets. My point is, moving to another country takes grit, patience, and perseverance. I think Europe and specifically France attracts Americans because they see the value of living a vibrant lifestyle. Another example where you can see a stark contrast in the lifestyle is that in France, salaries tend to be lower than in the US, yet taxes and social charges are higher in France. The trade-off is that you have more affordable and accessible healthcare, paid parental leave, a retirement fund, education. There's a popular saying among expats that says move to France to be, not to do. So people move to France for a higher quality of life. There's no real hustle culture that exists here. Society loves to live slower. That translates into longer lunches, vacation culture. By the way, Paris is out of office for the whole month of August, which if you come to Paris in August, you'll see a lot of businesses and shops and restaurants are closed. Society here values enjoyment over appearances and consumerism. Wealth isn't measured in what you have, but rather in how much time you actually get to enjoy life. My second brutally honest advice is that Paris isn't for everybody, and that's totally okay. Like any big city, Paris can be chaotic and it has its own challenges. It's beautiful and inspiring, but it's also expensive and loud, and it sometimes smells like pee. Sometimes it overfills with trash because the trashmen go on strike. I'm not kidding you. I've seen so many friends and even clients come with so much excitement, but after a year, they leave thinking, what just happened? One of my clients moved his entire life here. His wife, his cats, and half of their belongings decided that after 2 weeks, Paris wasn't for them. So they ended up moving back, but it wasn't cheap, I'll tell you that. Come for a test run for as long as you can. Come for several weeks and live like a local. Stop playing the tourist and actually live in a Paris apartment. Do all of the local things that you would do if you were living where you live now. Going to the grocery store, going to the pharmacy, eating in restaurants, trying to make friends with your neighbors. Just come and see how that feels for you, if it's actually a match. So Paris can be a soulmate, or it could just be a 2-week fling. We've been hearing from so many of you who are dreaming about Paris but are not quite ready to make the move yet. I'm excited to share about a new consultation call designed specifically for all the dreamers who are curious about Paris but don't have that one-way ticket booked yet. Through the end of 2025, we're offering a one-on-one call with my team to discuss your plans, what you're thinking, where you're at, and what next steps you need to make in order to make moving to Paris a reality. You'll walk away with a clear plan of next steps tailored to you. More details in the description below. Okay, my third brutally honest advice is people respect you more if you try to speak the language, even if you do it badly. What I've learned over my travels is that people warm up pretty quickly if you try to meet them in their own language. When my mom came to visit, my in-laws found her to be so charming because she was like waking up every morning telling them bonjour, ça va, merci, and she would like try to meet them in their own language. And they just found that to be so like nice and charming, and they just loved it. Another point, when I first applied for my French citizenship back in 2018, you needed to have an A2 level of French. And in 2020, they bumped that up to a B1 level. That just goes to highlight how important the French value their language and want people who are going to become French to be integrated into society and have a more advanced level of the language. My husband also has a theory that French is intentionally hard to catch the foreigner. I'll be saying something, he'll be like, no, that's not how you say it, or no, that's feminine and not masculine. They will catch you and they will know that you're not a native French speaker. Want to know a secret? Even the French know that French is hard. All that they care about is that you're trying. Learning just the few basics can help break those barriers, especially when you have a notion that the French are mean or rude. And honestly, it's the little experiences that make the difference. Like when you go out and you order a coffee and the barista asks you in French what kind of milk you want. You're not going to freeze up and not know what to say. In the end, it unlocks something simple but powerful: respect and access. My fourth brutally honest advice is don't miss out on eating well in France. The food quality is really better here, like noticeably. Me and my French husband sometimes joke, but not really, that if we were ever to move back to the US, that we would have to pack our suitcases with French groceries. The food quality here is just on another level. There are fewer additives, we have stricter food laws in Europe, and actual flavor. One of my earliest and most vivid memories about coming to Europe was when I was at a restaurant and I ordered Sunnyside eggs for breakfast, and I just remember getting the plate and the eggs were this like very bright and vibrant yellow orangey color. I had never seen eggs this bright before. The first time I tried whole milk, which is lait entier in France, I had to call my best friend and tell her, I think I like milk now, because I had never tasted milk so like rich in flavor. It was creamy. It was just delicious. Another thing that I just love about France is that buying groceries, buying fresh products is so accessible here. Every city has its own farmer's market at least once a week. And I know in Paris, each arrondissement has its own food markets, sometimes twice a week. One thing to know is that grocery stores in France tend to be smaller than they are in the US, unless you're like out in the countryside. Sometimes you'll get like these big supermarkets. Where we live and around Paris, normally the stores are generally smaller. Produce is fresher and the choice is usually smaller. You don't have tons of choice and tons of non-seasonal foods. Grocery stores here tend to distribute produce that is in season as well. So the shelves normally aren't packed with a lot of high fructose corn syrup items like snacks, candies. We do have those things, but they tend to be healthier than the American counterparts. Let's talk about portion size. I feel like because I'm from Texas, everything is bigger in Texas, and especially the food and the portion sizes there. In France, you're gonna get like a normal, or what most Americans would consider like a smaller portion than they would in the US. And I think part of this is because the US has just gone out of control with their portions, but also because the food quality is much better here, you don't need to eat as many calories because you get enough nutrients in the food like as it is. Because stores are smaller, you tend to go to more specialty shops such as the butcher or le boucher for your meat, la fromagerie for your cheeses, la boulangerie for your bread, and the cavis for your wine, and so forth. Maybe this could be seen as inconvenient, but honestly, I love doing that because you get like the most high quality items, and each shop is specialized in what they do. It's not to say that you can't get like really good wine at your grocery store, which I do sometimes, and it's inexpensive. It's very affordable. The bottom line is that France takes its food quality seriously. Whether that's a baguette from your neighborhood boulangerie or a meal from your cafe, your body and your taste buds are gonna thank you. My fifth brutally honest advice is that everything is smaller in France except the lifestyle. Apartments, bathrooms, elevators, cars, even roads are smaller in France than you would expect them to be in the US. I'm from Texas, and so you could imagine the first time that my dad came to visit me, he was shocked. When we were sitting at a cafe, he had to go use the restroom, and when he came out, he was like, Celine, I think I just saw a half sink in that bathroom. Cue the photo. In my first Paris apartment living on my own, it's what's called une chambre de bonne. It was 11 square meters big. I could actually touch both of the walls by standing in the middle of it, but I actually loved it. It was very Parisian and cozy, but after 2 years, I was pretty ready to get out of that shoebox. Now, limited space can feel like a challenge at first, but here's the secret. Life in Paris tends to draw you outside. People meet in cafes, they picnic in parks, they spend their weekends visiting museums. And when you put yourself out there, Paris rewards you. It's a city that thrives on spontaneity and little moments of serendipity. One of my favorite memories is when my best friend was visiting a few years ago, and in the apartment that I was staying at the time, we noticed across the street from our vis-a-vis that there were these two guys, and they just like kept playing all of these different instruments. They had their curtains open like the whole time. We were just so fascinated by them. After a few days, we decided to just wave at them, and they waved back at us. They ended up like inviting us over for a drink. At the end of the night, they were like, come with us, we're gonna go play live music at this bar. So we ended up going with them, and the after party was spent at one of their friends' house, and we ended up spending the whole night eating, drinking, and listening to like this group of artists and musicians playing music the whole night into the wee hours of the morning. I just love this memory because this moment was so spontaneous and magical. That's the thing about Paris. Yes, the spaces are tiny, but they push you outside into the cafes, into the parks, into the museums, even into unexpected adventures. And if you're willing to embrace the effort and spontaneity, Paris has a way of rewarding you with a little everyday magic. So there you have it, my top 5 brutally honest advice about living in Paris after 12 years. It hasn't always been glamorous or easy, but it's been completely worth it for me. Paris has challenged me, it's changed me, and it's given me a life that's been full in ways I never expected. So if you're thinking about moving to Paris, or you're just curious about what life is really like beyond the filtered Instagram version, I hope that this video gave you some clarity and maybe even some inspiration. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and if you like this content, let me know in the comments by sharing your own Paris stories if you have them. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so hit that subscribe button if you want more unfiltered glimpses of expat life here in France.